a men's rights activist. He brings a conservative point of view to black issues. His mission: to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, Jermain Botsio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation with me, your gracious host, Jermain Botsio. And on today's show, as you guys know, I got the one, the only Anthony Allen making sure these liberals pay. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, we have to make sure that they pay. They've been going around for the past 50 years probably without paying their due. And, you know, of course, Trump came along and he demanded that they pay their due. And by them paying their due, they have got to be challenged on every level. And we're doing that now on Conservative Nation. We are challenging them. Trump taught us how to make liberals pay, and we are going to make them pay every day.
Absolutely. We have to. Look at what the heck is going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. Look at what's going on. They still going after Trump and ain't over. I know some of y'all are thinking, oh, you know, Trump is, it's not over yet. Some of y'all have given up. Like, you know what, Ron DeSantis, I might vote for him. I understand, right? I understand. So much things are going on right now. But one thing should be constant. One thing should be constant, ladies and gentlemen. The level of fight inside of you. Do you understand? You have to be able to fight every day. These people here that wake up every day hating you. I don't make this stuff up. Hating you. These people are building a narrative as we speak, and we're going to get into the narrative they are building. And it's quite crazy. So I want people to be able to be aware of what's going on. Make sure you guys do us a favor, all right? I know some of y'all are in some difficult positions, right? You're living with another liberal, all right? You're at home, and most of the people at home are liberal, right? Most of the people on your timeline are liberal, and you can't share. I understand. Well, you better create a fake profile and share. Yeah, shoot. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. We need your help, ladies and gentlemen. We certainly do, all right? Absolutely. They don't like me. They don't like you. Right? Why kid ourselves? I like to be upfront and honest. I don't like them either. Yeah. I'm not going to play around. They don't like me. I don't like them. So I'm not sitting here, ladies and gentlemen, expecting them to be nice or treat me fair. I expect them to do what they do best. Be mischievous and be Satan's children. Yeah. So I have a level of fight in me that is very strong, let me tell you. And I'm ready to fight, and hopefully you guys are ready to fight tonight. And the way that you fight is by hitting that like button and making sure you do share, all right? That's the way you fight. And if you can, throw something in the tip jar. Help us out, ladies and gentlemen. Help us continuing to keep putting out the content you love and deserve. Mr. Allen, are you ready to
Let's fire this up, buddy. Let's start flaming these liberals.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. All right? Make sure you do share. First one up here, buddy. I want to go ahead and discuss a viral video that was taken at a Circle K gas station. All right? These gas stations are popping up all across the country now. And this video dealt with a black wildebeest. This black wildebeest, it apparently is away from the jungle, and is in, how could I say, a populated area, and it decided to go into this Circle K. And what happened, ladies and gentlemen, was some craziness. I want to go ahead and run this when I come back. I want to speak about it. Black wildebeest beats white Circle K employee with a brick while stealing and leaving without paying. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. I need your help. Please, oh please. Me and Anthony Allen need your help. We ain't playing. Here we go. Bad, oh bad. Man, this is bad. Here we go. No sound. Two black wildebeest come in. Usually you can tell the stench of a wildebeest. Let me go ahead and transition here. Let's go back. Bow. Two of them, they walk in. You can tell the stench of the wildebeest. They stink like blunts, weed, pink hair lotion, and how could I say, Arizona tea. That's what they stink like. Let's go back. Black woman walks in, hits woman with a brick. You see the brick right there. And then she's beating on the woman. She is black like your car tires. Look at her. Look at the other one. Walk out stealing. One more time. Two black wildebeest. They are tatted like some ghetto sailors. Yup. Look at them. They're called BBWs, I guess. Badly built women. That's what the BBW stand for. And you can see how badly built they are. Mr. Allen, my goodness gracious, Mr. Allen, this is crazy here. So we got two black wildebeest. They have ran from the jungle. You get what I'm saying? They have ran. I don't know if they have rabies or something. You get what I'm saying? Usually we can tell the stench of these animals by how much weed they're smoking in the vicinity. Mr. Allen, what do you think about this? My goodness gracious. Wildebeest out of control. What do you think about this here? Black beating on a white woman. Where is the outrage? Where is the marches?
Oh my goodness. Jermain Botsio, all sane and decent people are abhorred by this. What makes it even more egregious is that this criminal, the one that hit the lady with the brick, this criminal is a female.
Yep.
Is a woman. It is absolutely disgusting what she did. And then to add insult to this hideous act, she comes back and she slams the woman's head on the floor. She hits her with a brick, she steals it, and then she crouches down next to this woman that's obviously in pain and begins to rock her head and to slam this woman's head on the ground. She pounds the woman's head on the ground. Now, I do have a term for this. You and I have a term for this. This is a war, and I will continue to call it the war on white people.
Absolutely.
Okay? Black people are able to physically and verbally assault white people with impunity. Even when caught on camera, law enforcement cannot find these people. Okay, they can do these outrageous behaviors, assault white people with impunity, and guess what? Law enforcement cannot find them. That's why I call it the war on white people by black people. And it's been taking place for a long, long time.
Yep.
Remember where you had the movement where they were what they call the knockout game?
The
The
knockout
knockout
game.
game
I was just
where
about
they
to bring
would
that up.
hit someone so hard, the black people would hit white people so hard, they would be knocked out before they hit the ground.
Mm.
It was a fad, okay? And now we have more of this where these women are now knocking people in the heads with bricks. They are, robbing people on the street. You can see them on these videos where they just walk up to someone unexpecting this and they knock them out. And now we have this new level where this woman takes a brick
Yep.
and to finish her off, she pounds her head against the pavement.
Mm.
Where's the outrage? Where's Black Lives Matter? Where's Jesse Jackson? Where
Yep.
is Joe Biden? Where's Kamala Harris? Where are all these quote unquote black people just being disgusted with this? But they are not disgusted with this. And this is what I call the war on white people. It is disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting. And let me tell you something, Anthony Allen, it happens every day here in America. Happens all the time. And it blows my mind. It really does. I want people to hit that like button. I want people to share. All right. This type of nonsense happens way too often. Have to understand it, ladies and gentlemen, way too often. White people can be assaulted, beat to death, and guess what? Nothing happens. There's no outrage. There's no marches, right? There's not even a gosh darn news story.
Right.
That's how much they hate you, white people. I want white people to understand how much they hate you here in America. You can get your ass beat and killed by a black monkey like this and go, whoo, whoo, man, I forgot about the censors. Woo, screw the censor by a black monkey like this, Anthony Allen. And you know what happens? They go ahead and the family does nothing. Nothing. It really blows my mind. It really does. The family doesn't have a recourse against this. White people don't have a recourse against this. If this was a white person doing this to a black person, I want you white people to understand what would happen. I want you to understand. It will be a CNN story right now. Primetime story. You'll have Don Lemon speaking to the black person. Right? The black person will be on TV crying about how they got hit with a brick. that white devil hit me with a brick. Right? They'll be doing stuff like that. And then they'll be having panel after panel discussing white people and white hatred and white whatever else they want to talk about. I want white people to understand. There has to be an organization in this country that specifically cares about white people and only white people. There needs to be. Because one thing I'm telling you, Anthony Allen, if there was a white organization that was out there on the march when things of this nature happen and they start taking marches, I guarantee you, the media will have to cover you, and they will have to talk about the double standard and the nonsense. White people have to force the narrative. You have to force them to speak about this double standard. You have to, because without doing that, you're going to suffer. These black people don't give a rip. They don't. And people like Joe Biden, you know they don't give a rip either. Last words here, sir.
Yes, sir. This is the ultimate double standard, and they are doing it on purpose. My fear is that my white friends will get beaten up because they're trying to, be nice to some people that hate them. I don't want my white friends to get beaten up by, some black thugs walking around. And, like my white friends want to be nice and cordial.
Yep.
And they're being nice and cordial to some very, very bad people. you, my white friends, be very, very suspicious of people like this. Okay, you better look around at your
Very.
surroundings and be very, very careful. I'm afraid, my white friends are going to go out there and just be themselves, just be happy go lucky, and somebody like this will walk up to them and hurt them. Okay, because this is a double standard and there is a war out there. Now, there are many, many blacks that do not go along with this. Me, Jermain, Botsio, others, and there's many, many white people who are aware of this racism that's coming out of the black community. It's being pushed by liberals. They want blacks to attack whites, and they want to foment some sort of civil war or some kind of color war, as I like to call it. But you're right, Jermaine Botsio. This is a double standard that white people need to get out in front of.
Yep.
And they need to have some sort of marches. And believe me, march against black hate. I will join you. Jermaine Botsio will join you.
I will join you.
You got to get out there and have a civil rights march for white people against black hate.
Absolutely. You have to, ladies and gentlemen, you have to force the narrative. Without forcing the narrative, these people will never speak about what is obvious. All right. And it's very obvious of what they're doing. Shout out to Matthew Steinacker. It said, Jermain, your forefathers knew these people were the bottom of the barrel and they sold them to the white folks. Who's laughing now? You ain't lying. When the Africans were catching the other Africans to sell to the white man, Ubuntu and them. You get what I'm saying? The white man came to Ubuntu and say, Ubuntu, we're gonna need some folks here. We got some gold, we got some liquor. Gosh darn it, shoot, we got some badly built white women here. Yeah, you want them? Yeah, we're going to need some slaves, though. Ubuntu and them, you know what they said? Ubuntu said, yeah, we know some dumb Negroes across the pond. Yeah, they dumb as rocks. Don't worry, we're going to give you them. You want them, right? Don't you worry. The dumber the better, right? Yeah, and they got them dumb Negroes, shipped them here, and guess what? White man has been crying ever since. White man crying. Boy, I'm telling you right now, if there was a white man that could go back in history, right? You could go back in time. The white man will go back to the colonial period, right? Yeah, I know you would. You'll go back and, hey, Africa, skip that continent. Skip it. Skip it. Absolutely. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Shoot. Make sure you share. See, ladies and gentlemen, we ain't PC around here. Yeah, if we were on a regular gosh darn platform channel, they have us gone by now. Look how nasty my mouth is. Right? Black people will be complaining. They'll be outside of my house with sticks. Absolutely. Yeah. And they ain't from Shaka Zulu tribe. They ain't from there. So hit that like button, make sure you share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Yvonne and Fred Garrison for donating. Took our challenge on PayPal. Says, Flaming, my friend and fellow warrior. Absolutely. Shout out to Yvonne and Fred Garrison. Absolutely. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. I did want to add, I saw this in the feed, and we were talking about the war on white people.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to recognize the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene was swatted twice.
Yep, she was.
That's that war that we're talking about. That's a very, very dangerous thing to do, but these people are having a war on white people. To have this, representative put in that dangerous situation where she could have been murdered by the cops, accidentally shot by the cops because they hate white people that much. This is the war we're talking about, Jermain Botsio.
Yeah, I just read Gavin McInnes got raided by the FBI too.
Exactly.
Boy, they
Same
coming
thing.
after everybody. Ladies
This
and
is what's
gentlemen,
watching.
hide
Yeah.
your children.
This is the war on white
Hide
people that
'em.
we're talking about. This is the war, buddy. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Gavin McInnes,
Yep.
McInnes, I should say. This
Gavin
is the war
McInnes,
that we're
yep.
talking about.
Yeah, they're coming after everybody. They apparently connection with January 6th. These people are ridiculous. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you see what's going on, right? I told you. Next one up. Make sure you share and hit that like button. I want to go ahead and speak to you about Chicago. 296 females have been victims of domestic violence is what they're saying in Chicago this year. Activists have taken a stand and it has caught national attention. I want to go ahead and run this. When I come back, I want to speak about it. Make sure you share. They have taken a stand against gun domestic violence. I want you guys to remember that phrase. Gun domestic violence. Here we go. Make sure you share. Here we go.
Community activists calling attention to what they say is a growing number of attacks against women in the city of Chicago. Several dozen gathered at a church at 129th and Halsted, calling the number of crimes against women in the city appalling. They say so far this year, 296 females have become victims of gun and domestic violence. The youngest victim, only 5 months old. Among the speakers, the mother of a 24-year-old woman who was shot to death last June while sitting in her car outside her South Side home.
Why are you shooting? Do you know? Do you know what you're doing? You're a child. It's our kids taking our kids.
I have a daughter. Every day I'm talking to her. If you see something, if you feel something strange, get away. Go get in the crowd and get next to somebody. Go run into a store. We have to teach our young ladies how to handle and be out here in the street.
The forum was organized by community activist Andrew Holmes, who himself lost a daughter to gun violence.
Bow, I want to go ahead and stop it there. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Anthony Allen. So, gun domestic violence is what they are talking about now. I want to go ahead and just speak about this, and I want to just speak about it very plainly.
Yes.
I'm not, very easy to be hoodwinked. I don't like people playing the victim game. And one thing I dislike about most women, they play that victim game from here to Pakistan. Yeah, yes, they do. And you women know what I'm talking about. The emotional game. I'm a victim game. It gets old. It really does. 296 women are victims of gun and domestic violence. How many are men? Right? Yeah, I have to ask that question now, right? We live in this age. Shoot, how many of them are natural women? Yeah, I got to ask that question. Second of all, how come we're only worried about the women? There's men out there who are getting slaughtered daily, right? How come we can't worry about the men? How many men are victims of gun and domestic violence, right? Hey, let's be honest. I like being honest. I like being truthful. I like being truthful. And for us to sit here and play this, we're only going to worry about women getting beaten and killed in our society, we got to be retarded. We're falling into what I believe the victim mentality game pushed by the liberal left and the feminists. Mr. Allen, what do you think about this here? These women are upset. They're mad. They're saying too many of us are being killed. What about the men? Where are they at?
Oh yeah, man. I love your assessment, and I want to give you that number also, okay? Because you're right on target as usual, and we do need to consider what is the number of men that have been killed, okay? But what we're looking at, this almost 300 women, this is one of these stupid prizes that's won when you play stupid games, okay? And the people of Chicago have been playing stupid games for a long, long time. They re-elected Lori Lightfoot. That was a stupid game.
Yep.
She is the most incompetent
very
mayor
incompetent
in the whole universe. And the people of Chicago, they played a stupid game when they rejected President Trump's wanting to put in the National Guard to bring down the crime rate. This is a stupid game that they decided to play. They also decided to play a stupid game when they went woke nuts on the police department and they defunded the police department. So this is what they get. They get this stupid idea that, you know what, 300 women have been murdered or killed in Chicago. But if you go to a website called HeyJackass.com,
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
not
remember
saying
that
a
one.
bad word, you liberals out there, that if the legitimate name of a website is called HeyJackass.com, and it details the murder and killing and shooting in Chicago. If you just get to the data, it will show you that 5 times as many men are killed in Chicago through violence. So when you have that number of, like 300 women, you multiply that by 5, and that's a good ratio. So 1,500 men are killed to the 300 women that are killed in Chicago. The violence in Chicago is overwhelmingly geared toward the men. The data shows that in 2022, that 371 males were killed and only 67 females. The data shows that in August of 2022, 1,552 males were wounded and only 297 females. So this is part of how the left is very, very disingenuous. 5 times as many males are slaughtered in Chicago, than women are, but they are not talking about the men there. So now we have the fact that these liberals, they're always using women.
There you go. Woo!
They're always doing this. They use
this man.
the
You a
women,
smart man.
and they use the black people, and they're users. Why not talk about the number of people being killed to stop it all?
There you
Why
go.
are we driving to make sure that the women
It's
are being
common
highlighted?
sense.
You know,
Brother,
doing
it's
this?
common sense. You're hitting the nail on the head. You're smashing it. I'm telling you, you got a big-ass hammer. I think you stole it from Thor. You stole it from Thor, the way you're hitting these nails on the head, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's common sense here. 5 times as many males are being slaughtered and killed. The reason why they are using women, and you said, I was just about to say, yeah, they're using women because they have to use women to bring in some sort of money. I want women to understand you use for sympathy to bring in money. Yeah, they don't really care about you like that. Yeah, I'm being honest, right? They should be caring about everybody, right? Women, are your lives more important than ours? And I want the women to start asking themselves that, because there's a lot of women today who will say, yeah, my life is more important than a man's. They will say this. And I want women to understand that's the way that you're being used. You're being turned against us. You're being turned against males. The fact that they're only worried about these women being killed. How about the innocent males who are being slaughtered? What about them? Do they have a voice? I want the women to understand, do they have a voice? And then on top of that, they're using the women to bring in money for domestic violence programs that they start ripping money from. Do you understand? I want women to understand that. They use it with blacks too. They do it with the inner city blacks. I want the women to understand. You know how white liberals do it? They say, well, Jamarquavius and them, they're going to need some sort of after school program, right, to play basketball. Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm going to ask my white liberal friends, right? We're going to go ahead and make a campaign. Stop the violence. Tyrone, put down the guns. All right. And then I have my friend Billy Bob down the street. Billy Bob, he owns a community center and he owns, part of a school. Yeah, he does. A garage. Yeah, he does. So what we're going to do is we're going to allocate money to his garage. And then we're going to allow, the Negroes to play basketball there, and to curb the violence. Yeah. Yeah. That's the way they do it, ladies and gentlemen. And while they're doing that, Billy Bob and the other white liberal, you know what they're doing? They're taking these federal dollars and they're eating steak and shrimps. Yeah. That's the way they do it. And they do the same thing with these domestic violence crap. And when you start looking at domestic violence, and want ladies to understand, you're the number one perpetrator of domestic violence. I keep saying this. All you got to do is go and look at the numbers. It will blow your mind. Women are the number one perpetrators of domestic violence. Yes, you're running around hitting males all day, and nobody's putting you in jail. So I want women to come back to reality so that we can have a very good reality. You get what I'm saying? Mr. Allen, last words, y'all.
Yeah, last words have to be, that was very, very eloquent what you said, Jermain Botsio. We have to come back to reality. The very fact that liberals, they're constantly trying to divide people. They divide blacks against whites, and they divide men against women. Okay, why not have a situation where you want to bring down crime, not against women, not against men, but against people, against human beings? But
Ridiculous.
The left doesn't want that. They always want to find somebody to use. They have been using blacks this way, for a long, long time. They have used the illegal immigrants and the illegal aliens this way for a long, long time. They always want to use women this way now too. They want to push their agenda emotionally, particularly using women or using someone that they consider downtrodden.
Yep, there you go.
So it is an emotional way of getting their ideas, their crazy ideas, passed through and pushed by using minorities, blacks, immigrants, and now the new trend is to use women.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, liberals will use their goster or mama on a deathbed to get a vote. Yes. The mama dying on a deathbed, getting ready to pass away. Hold on, mama. Let me go ahead and bring the cameras in. That's the way a liberal is. Do you understand? I want people to understand. That's the way a liberal is. A liberal is this type of person, right? They, instead of getting genuine appreciation for doing the right thing, a liberal is manufacturing the situation, right? You're giving a bum on the street money, and then while you're doing that, you're taking a picture or you're giving the bum money, and then you're posting it on Facebook. That's what liberals do. Yeah, they are those type of folks. I want people to understand that. I kid you, they are those type of folks. They're that evil. So we need to be honest about it. And I'm just an honest guy. I want the guys to be honest as well. With this honesty, you're gonna be called an asshole a lot. I'm just letting the guys know. That asshole world will come a lot. They'll get mad because, you're not falling for the emotional tricks and all the other stuff that they're doing. So I'm letting the guys know it's time to be honest. It's time to be a man. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to a very beautiful woman by the name of Kristen Walker, straight out of Minnesota, straight out of Minneapolis. Very beautiful woman. Shout out to you. Donated, took our challenge on Cash App. Shout out to the beautiful Kristen Walker. Shout out to you, sweetheart. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Shout out to Gail. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Gail. Beautiful woman on Facebook. Shout out to you. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Next one up. Yeah, I told you it'd be a good show. Didn't I tell you? Did I tell you?
Oh,
I
yeah.
told you that, right? Yeah, I told you. Oh, you guys are going to like this one. We're going to flame on this one. I want to speak to you about woke police departments. Now, I've been seeing them all across our nation now. There's police officers wearing the pride flag. Some of them have even ingrained the pride flag into the police department's gosh darn logo. You get what I'm saying? Their logo, their crest, they got some sort of pride flag in it. That's how crazy it is. Now, I want to speak to you about this police department. Kissimmee Police Department launches what they call a safety initiative. They are launching a safe space program for LGBTQ community. Now, all I got to say about this is, where is the chimney sweepers, safe space? Do they get a safe space? I know a whole bunch of chimney sweepers here in Minneapolis. They dress in all black and they're dirty all the time. People make fun of them. Let me tell you. I'm wondering, do they get a safe space? I want to go ahead and run this when it come back. Mr. Allen, I want to get your take on it. Woke police departments, instead of them to be worried about catching criminals, making sure that people are able to, do business effectively without being robbed, they're over here worrying about the LGBTQ folks, which are less than 3% of our population. I just want to point that out there. Here we go. Make sure you guys share, all right? Here we go.
Note 4, members of the LGBTQ plus community in Kissimmee now have a safe place to go if they become a hate crime victim.
Watch 2's Luana Munoz has program details from the Kissimmee Police Department.
That symbol you see right there serves as a welcoming sign for members of the LGBTQ plus community should they ever find themselves victims of hate crimes or discrimination. They say that this is the first step in creating a safer environment for members within their community.
I know growing up how uncomfortable I was walking into some businesses sometimes because I was afraid if I was going to be treated. So to have that visual cue on the door to know, oh, okay, I'm welcome here.
It's called the Safe Space Program. Businesses within the city will be marked with this sticker for LGBTQ plus members who feel unsafe.
The business owner would then contact the Kissimmee Police Department, and until we grow the liaison program, they'll contact me specifically, and I will talk to that person and get more details about what happened.
The LGBTQ plus Center Orlando has worked closely with KPD to get the initiative started. They say it's a strong effort to get the help they need.
It's a message to the community that we support you and that we're here, and it certainly sets the foundation to be able to create other opportunities for LGBT members to participate in conversations with law enforcement and with agencies in the community to kind of expand those kinds of protections.
LGBTQ plus Center Orlando hopes to see the program provide more education for business owners on how to handle LGBTQ plus issues.
If there's, discrimination from a community member to an employee of that business or vice versa, how do you navigate those situations and how do you diffuse them and create a more communal atmosphere for the people that live and work and visit our communities?
And if you're a business that wants to sign up for this program, it's really quite easy. All you got to do is go to this website, kissimmee.gov/safe space, and fill out a quick form.
Bow. So, Mr. Allen, my goodness gracious, we are back at it again here. We are back at it. Let me tell you. These people will never stop. And it's because we have too many people who don't want to stand up for what is right. The LGBTQ community have infiltrated a lot of our public institutions, and they have really corrupted them. Right now, they somehow are getting a safe space in a lot of police departments and everything else. It seems like, the focus is on less than 3% of the population, and the 99% of us, gosh darn, are suffering. I mean, what the hell is wrong with these fools? What do you think?
Oh, yes. I want to make sure that I give Katie Walker a big shout out. I just
Katie
saw
Walker.
the donation. Thank you so much, lovely lady. I appreciate you very, very much for that donation. Now, let's get back to this other issue, these woke police departments. Now, the left has always been teased as being snowflakes and needing a safe space, but now they're actually doing it. And I think that there should be equal protection for everyone. We should have a safe place for Black liberals. We tease Black liberals all the time, don't we? Okay, there should be a safe place for the illegal aliens. But guess what? The illegal aliens, they already have a safe place. All they have to do is get to the border, fall across the border, and they have a safe place in America. They get shipped places. New York City will open up 14 hotels. Even the illegal aliens, they have a safe place now. Okay, how about a safe place for little people like midgets?
Yep.
Okay, there should be a safe place for them. Now, there should be a safe place for pedophiles also. And we also know that Hunter Biden, he also has his own safe place. Being the president's son, he can do anything, go anywhere. Everywhere he goes, a hotel room where he's philandering with underage girls, those become safe places for Hunter Biden. But you know what? Let's also keep in mind that the Democrat Party, they also had a safe place for the free slaves. But what happened was the safe place for the free slaves, called the Freedmen's Bureau, that was taken away by the Democrats. That worked fine. As long as they had the Freedmen's Bureau there were no lynchings, there were no killings of Black people. But you know what the Democrats did? They took it away. But now you have the biggest and the most prolific safe place, and that's for the LGBTQWXYZ. I mean, this is ridiculous, okay? Also, this idea that there's some kind of violence, constant violence against these people, that's a lie. If they want constant violence against these LGBTQ people, they should look at Saudi Arabia. That's where the violence against LGBTQ happens at. What we're looking at, Jermain Botsio, is really the normalizing of pedophilia sanctioned by government entities. This is what they want to happen. They want the federal government to normalize pedophilia. They want police departments to normalize pedophilia. And that's all this is the normalization of pedophilia sanctioned by the U.S. government.
Absolutely. That's exactly what's going on here. You know, when I look at this here, Anthony Allen, I see a very big problem in our country. You know, these things aren't going away. This special group, LGBTQ folks, they're going to be here for a while. They are. They are getting special rights from here to Pakistan. Everywhere you go, they have special rights. Some place got a special right for them. It's getting crazy. It really is. And now the police departments are having safe spaces. You know, where's safe space for sane adults? Where do they go? You get what I'm saying? I'm just asking, ladies and gentlemen, sane adults, where do they go? And you'll start to figure out that as a sane adult, nowadays, there ain't no place to go except to your house. That's it. Because the world does not accept you. Last words here, Mr. Allen.
Yeah, that's well said. The world does not accept sane people now. People need to find themselves in some sort of, woke identity block or woke identity section, woke identity category. Okay, then you can have your own safe place. Okay, there's no safe places for conservatives. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. She was swatted 2 days in a row. Gavin McInnes was swatted and arrested on air. Well, he wasn't really swatted. He was actually arrested on air.
Yeah.
They came to get him on air. There's no safe place for Donald Trump, is there? They raided his home. Okay, there's no safe place for me. There's no safe place for you because we are sane people. There's no safe place for a conservative nation. Okay?
Yep.
Sane people. But if you have some sort of identity ID, you're, like a liberal black, you're LGBTQ, whatever else of the alphabet is on there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're some kind of strange pedophile, drug addict like Hunter Biden, guess what? You have a safe place. You're right, Jermain Botsio. Sane people do not have a safe place.
We don't. We don't at all, ladies and gentlemen. I wish we did, but we don't. And the liberals aren't going to give us a safe space. We have to make one for ourselves. That's why we have, ladies and gentlemen, this program. This program is a safe space for adults, people who got their brains still working. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, their mental capacity isn't blown up yet. It can still work. You're here. So I want people to understand the world is crazy and we are not. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Leanne and Jerome Glass. They donated on our PayPal. Took our challenge. Shout out to you. What do y'all say here? So greeting from Princeton. Shout out to you guys. I challenged 10 more to match us, and they took the $10 challenge. Shout out to you guys. Make sure you guys share and hit that like button. We definitely going to need your help. All right, we definitely going to need your help. Next one up, I want to speak to you about watering while black. Yeah, watering while black. Yeah, I know you guys heard driving while black, pissing while black, eating lollipops while black. I know you heard that, right? Absolutely. Voting while black. I know, right? Ain't that crazy? Now it's watering while black. Yeah. The liberals are saying water while black. They have a guy who was arrested. Apparently, he was watering his neighbor's lawn. And apparently, the police officer was so outraged oh my gosh, there's a black scumbag. He's just over there watering. That he was arrested. I kid you not. I want to go ahead and run this when I come back. I want to get you guys' take on this. Is it the simple discrimination case, or is there a little bit more to it? All right, here we go. Make sure you do share. Watering while black. Here we go.
Now to the black pastor arrested by Alabama police as he was watering his neighbor's garden while they were out of town. TJ Holmes is with us now, and what Pastor Michael Jennings is saying after the ordeal. Good morning to you.
All right, Stray. Driving while black, walking while black, golfing while black, swimming while black, napping while black, staying in an Airbnb while black, sitting in a Starbucks while black, bird watching while black. This become a part of our vernacular here. And look, you and I talked about plenty of these stories here. Add to this now, watering your neighbor's plants while black. That's what this pastor was doing, and police were called on him. And now we have this police body cam video that shows how he goes from literally a water hose to handcuffs in just a couple of minutes.
I ain't did nothing suspicious or nothing wrong. Told him I'm a pastor. I pastor until I don't want to hear. Sir. You want to lock me up? Lock me up.
This newly released police body camera video shows the arrest of an Alabama pastor who was watering his neighbor's plants.
Do what you got to do. Go on and lock me up.
This past spring, Pastor Michael Jennings was doing a favor for a neighbor who'd asked him to water their plants while they were out of town. But police arrived and started questioning him.
This vehicle is not supposed to be here, and you're not supposed to be here.
Who's saying that? I'm Pastor Jennings. I live across the street.
You're Pastor Jennings?
Yes, I'm looking out for their house while they gone.
Okay.
Watering their flowers.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Now, do you have like ID and all?
Oh, no, man. I'm not going to give you no ID.
Why not?
I ain't did nothing wrong.
And if you're not one to identify yourself.
Who called y'all?
That's what we got to figure out.
I ain't did nothing suspicious or nothing wrong. Told him I'm a pastor. I pastor until I don't want to hear. Sir. You want to lock me up? Lock me up.
We're just trying to talk to you, man. Come here. Look, man, let me see your phone. Let me see your phone, dude. Just calm down, okay?
No.
Stop.
Do what you got to do. Go on and lock me up. I told you I'm a pastor.
Okay, look, man.
Who called y'all?
You have to identify yourself.
All I did said, hey, man, do you live here? No. Is that your car? No.
The pastor was eventually put in the back of a squad car. A woman soon arrives on scene, identifies herself as a neighbor, and vouches for Pastor Jennings.
He lives right there, and he would be watering their flowers. This is probably my fault.
She says she is the one who made the initial call to police.
So you called not because of a car, but because you thought someone saw someone beside him.
Right, I didn't know it was him.
Yeah, I got to keep their flowers watered. I got to keep their flowers watered while they're gone. You okay?
Jennings spoke to GMA about the ordeal.
It was kind of surreal at that moment because I'm wondering, why is this happening? I was thinking if I did something wrong or resisted, that I could have been shot. So I was trying to cooperate, even though I didn't understand what was going on. I was agitated, I was angry, but I knew to comply.
The 56-year-old maintains this was a case of racial profiling.
You racial profiling?
We're not racial profiling.
Yes,
no, sir. No, sir. We're not about that.
I told you I was here watering the flowers.
How do I know that's the truth? Anybody?
I had the water hose in my hand.
Throughout the video, police can be heard suggesting that the situation might have been different if Jennings had provided identification.
It doesn't matter if pastor or if he's a pastor or not. Like the thing is, he's a nice enough, reasonable guy. Just talk to us.
Alabama law allows police to ask someone for identification in a public place if they reasonably suspect that person of committing a crime.
To be shackled and to have your freedom taken away from you, you know, it's something else. It's dehumanizing.
Boy, they got a black liberal pastor.
It gives you nightmares. It gives you nightmares after.
Jennings maintains there was no crime, given he was on private property with permission.
The neighbor, a white woman, they took her word as the gospel truth. But the pastor who preached the gospel every Sunday
took the white woman as
the
gospel
pastor was
truth.
Charged with one count of obstruction of government operation. That charge was later dropped. For now, Pastor Jennings, says he's leaning on his faith.
Oh, he about to sue. How much you want to bet? Pastor about to get paid. He about to get a new Cadillac.
You can't judge people and hold things against people.
Pastor does say,
Bow, I'm going to stop her right here. TJ Holmes, you're doing a lot of what I call nigger tree. Nigger explaining. That's what TJ Holmes is about. Nigga explaining. Mr. Allen, my goodness gracious. My goodness great. Water while black. Now, let's just be honest here, Mr. Allen. You know, me and you, we're quite decent black folks. You know, I would say that we're quite reasonable black male adults. So yeah, right. I'd assume that, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely, 100%, brother.
Absolutely, and you know, this Negro, this black male adult, he was asked his name. He didn't want to give his name. He was quite boisterous. He was quite disgruntled, and he wasn't complying with anything the officers wanted, or he wasn't doing anything that would be cordial. Gosh darn it. That's how niggas get arrested. What do you think here, sir?
Okay. Let me give a shout out to Leanne Glass. And hey, Leanne, thank you very much for that donation. And guess what? Your prayers have been answered. I won the election.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for that prayer. And also give a shout out to Jonathan Lennon. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that donation also. Let me get back to this other part here, Jermain Botsio, okay? Hey, what we're talking about, this is the hallmark of being woke, okay? Being woke is what this pastor exhibited.
Yep.
It's fake outrage. He wants to have a fake hate crime, and he's trying to milk every situation as racism, okay? Every encounter with the police is supposed to be confrontational.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is how this pastor, he wants to raise money for his congregation. He wants to be into a confrontation with the police, and he wants to be able to sue. And that's how this pastor wants to build his church. He doesn't want to build the church on kindness and goodness and gentleness and self-control. He wants to build his church on the opposite of all of those things. Okay, being mean, being uncontrollable. This is how this pastor wants to build his church. The other thing that we're looking at is this pastor, he is not identifying himself. He identifies himself as a pastor. I'm a pastor.
Don't mean nothing.
With that, it doesn't mean anything. He doesn't give his name. He doesn't give an ID. So he's a very, very lawless pastor. And this is the wokeness that we're dealing with, particularly in the black community. Okay, this also reminds me of 2009. And you know what happened in 2009? Professor Gates and police officer Sergeant Crowley.
Absolutely.
Here is a, erudite professor, and he cannot even speak cordially to a white policeman. He just assumes that the white policeman is being racist.
Yep.
The policeman wants to know, well, what's going on? Give me your name. Give me your ID. Tell me who you are. And Professor Gates will not do any of this. So just like Professor Gates, many, many blacks feel entitled to not show their ID.
Beautiful word.
Just like this pastor and Professor Gates, many, many blacks are being taught by liberals to be entitled, to be rude and mean and just uncooperative. Okay, what we're dealing with, Jermain Botsio, is the fact that there's probably zero racism in America.
Zero, I'm telling you.
Are having to make it up as they go, just like Jesse Smollett wants to make up racism as they go. Now, this pastor, notice, did not get angry with the white female that walked up and said that she called the police.
Yep.
He remained angry with the police, and he told the white female, "Oh, that's okay, honey."
Yep. Didn't get mad at her. I was just about to point that out. Oh, you on it?
What a hypocrite this guy is. He should lose people in his church.
Yep.
His church congregation should be leaving him because he does not exhibit the manner or the character of a pastor.
Absolutely. His church, the congregation should be getting out and walking out of his church, Anthony Allen. He should be embarrassed. His demeanor, the way that he spoke, his character, ladies and gentlemen, it was not of a pastor, a person of a godly nature. He didn't act like that at all. As a matter of fact, he was rude and cantankerous with them.
There you go.
He was. It wasn't like he was nice with the police officers. And then when it all came out that the neighbor, a white woman, called, he didn't get mad at her. He remained mad at the officers for doing their job, and let you know where his mindset is. It lets you know right then and there. Right then and there, ladies and gentlemen. These type of things are occurring way too often, and the media is giving it too much too much credence, too much attention. It blows my mind. It really does. Anthony Allen, this pastor, instead of him to take his time to speak with respect, speak like there's God in his life.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah, at least act like you're a pastor. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you claim you're a pastor. Nobody, what, pastor of the Church of Satan? We don't know. You're just saying a pastor. I'm a pastor. Pastor back in the day, if you said you were a pastor, you would get a lot of respect. You would. Nowadays, you claim to be a pastor. People like myself say, shoot, of a Church of Satan. Well, let me guess, the LGBTQ folks are all up in your church. Let me guess, right? I'll go on and on about that pastor because more than likely that pastor has given up his faith and his conviction for the almighty dollar, let me tell you, for people to be in his church. And that's what a lot of pastors have done nowadays. Instead of them to tell the truth and to speak what's gospel, they omit that. Right? They don't even speak about it. And they speak about other things so that their congregations are full. And, you know, the tithing, let me tell you, keeps coming on in. Absolutely. So I want people to understand this. That pastor, he's a very evil pastor for doing that. Very evil. And then there was a black attorney or something that was on there, and he was saying that as soon as the white woman came, they took her what she said as gospel. That is some Negro niggertree type of crap. They didn't take what she said as gospel. She is a gosh darn credible witness. Right? She the one who called. Negroes will make up all sorts of stuff. I want people to understand they're doing this just like Anthony Allen said because there's no racism here in America. Yeah, I know it. Ain't that crazy, right? We have discriminatory acts here, but the racism, right? We don't have that here in America. We don't. We have Negroes and white liberals pushing a fake fallacy. That's what we have.
Exactly.
Last words here, sir.
Yeah, it's a fallacy that they're pushing, but it is telling too, and you were talking about this very, very eloquently, that this pastor, if he was a pastor, he would not have to shout and say that he was a pastor. He would behave in a manner.
Yeah, we would have known.
Cop would have said, "Are you a pastor?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but he had to let them know up front that he was a pastor. His behavior did not indicate at all that he was a pastor, and that's what's taking place in our culture now. People are not behaving in a manner that lets people know their character. They have to tell people who they are, and you should use what they say about themselves as the truth. But we know you should behave in the manner of which you are, and not just give yourself a title like a king. I'm a king. If you're a king, behave like a king. I'm a president. If you're a president, behave like a president.
I'm a president.
People will know you by your fruits.
Absolutely. We will know you by your fruits. If you're a king, you ain't got to run around and say, hey, I'm a king. I'm a king. I'm a king. Obviously, you're not a king then.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? When you got to remind everybody you speak to, hey, I'm a king. Obviously, you're not a king. We should know by the fruits of your labor, the things that you're doing. It's quite simple. And this pastor, you can tell by the things he is doing that he's not a very good pastor, if you can call him that. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share, all right? Didn't I tell you you'd like that one? Didn't I tell you? I told you. Oh, you're going to like this next one, too. You definitely going to like it. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. I want to speak to you guys about a guy that eats meat in front of animal rights protesters. Yeah. He's eating and he's eating away. I wonder what he's eating. Shoot, it was making my mouth water. I kid you not. I want you guys to take a look at this when I come back. I want to speak about it. I need to speak about it, ladies and gentlemen. We need to, all right? Because these animal rights protesters have something in common with the rest of the loons on the liberal left. And we're going to see if you know what it is. We definitely going to see. Here we go.
You're disgusting. What do you think you are? You're just a coward. You're a fucking coward. You're a spy. You're embarrassing us. What am I going to do? Nothing. You're going to die on your own without fucking
Us? Huh? It feels fucking good? You and your small dick and your pussy way of killing animals, and it feels good. You have all the blood on your face.
Gosh darn, what is that? What is that, a kebab?
It feels good.
Look at the way he's licking on it. Man. Gosh darn it. Is that Wee Willis marinade on there? That got to be Wee Willis marinade on there. Anthony Allen, the way he was licking up and down that kebab, my goodness, great. I'm thinking that Wee Willis marinade on there. You know what I'm saying? I'm making me hungry. Ladies and gentlemen, making me hungry. Now, those bitchy women that were there, gosh darn, were hurting my ears. yeah, usually bitchy women do that. You know, what can I say, you know? What can I say? But my goodness gracious, Anthony Allen, these fools, the animal rights protesters, have something in common with the liberal left. Besides the craziness, they're ran by women. I kid you not. Most liberal organizations are ran by women, and they have effeminate men behind them. Tell me I told a lie, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me I told a lie. Look at BLM. We'll start with BLM. I'm so evil. I know. We're gonna start with BLM. BLM ran by fat black wenches. Yeah, don't believe y'all know that too, right? Let me ask Anthony Allen. No, Anthony Allen. Who's running BLM? What gender are they, and how big are they?
They're women, and they're very, very large.
I told you. They one of them BBWs, the badly built women's. They part of them crew. Let me tell you. And when you start taking a look at a lot of these liberal organizations, from BLM to the Now organization, the Pussy Hat folks, right, to the animal rights protesters, to all the rest of these loons out there, the common denominator is that they're ran by women, bitchy women, and also effeminate men whose nuts, the nuts haven't dropped yet. They have a high-pitched voice every time they speak. You know those type of guys. It sounds like somebody kicked them in their nuts all the time. You know what I'm talking. Stop that. You know what I'm talking about. What do you say to this here, Anthony? What do you say?
You know, like I say amen to this dude, okay? And then I also say, thank God for white men. You know,
I know, right?
You know, every radical animal rights protest, the conservatives should make it a barbecue tailgate party. Okay, just go there with barbecue and have a tailgate party. You know, don't say anything conservative. Just walk around eating barbecue and smacking your lips. And that's all you have to do. End the story. But, you know, let's get back to your point, because it's always well made. You're talking about these women, and notice how angry these women are. And when they get angry, they want to castigate a man. You have a small wiener.
Yep, that's what she said.
Get up. And that's all they do. And men, that doesn't bother men when you talk about that kind of a thing. Women think it does, but it doesn't. What does this guy do? He continues to lick that pork chop.
Well, I'm telling you,
it doesn't bother him one bit. It bothers more the beta males, okay, when you talk about a male sexuality or sexual, you know, features. It doesn't bother real men. We could care less about what a unknown female says about our sexual prowess, okay? Who cares? But you're right. This is a way that they want to castigate males constantly. This is what liberals do. It's always finding some way where the women are strong and hard and tough. And they say mean and rude things to men. And when they say them to real men, we just continue eating our shish kebab and licking that shish kebab. It doesn't matter to us what you say about us, because we already know who we are. Women like that do not define real men.
They don't.
Real men have already defined themselves.
Absolutely. Real men aren't defined by women. I know that hurt a lot of women out there to hear, right? Absolutely. Women don't define what a man is, and I want the men to understand that as well. I know some of y'all are, you know, used to hearing your mama speak about what a real man is, right? Because, you know, some guy pumped, dumped, and ran, right? I know. You're used to hearing your sister talk about what a real man. Hey, a real man does this, right? A real man does that. You know, gosh darn it. You know, guys like myself say a real woman cooks and cleans. And you know what happens? Guys like myself, gosh darn, we get put in the doghouse. Yeah. You see how Anthony Allen laughing? Yeah. Real men like myself say, I think real women cook and clean. You know what the women do? They start pointing at the doghouse.
Right.
They say, yeah, Jermain, men like you yeah, that's where you sleep. Yeah, Jermain, men like yourself sleep there. And you know what I say? I say, gosh darn it, I'm going to have to get comfortable with this doghouse. You get what I'm saying? So my doghouse got a 60-inch screen TV in it. You get what I'm saying? I got beer on demand and everything. I'm telling you, I love it in the doghouse. But besides that, ladies and gentlemen, getting down to it, you see how bitchy these women are. You see how loud and boisterous they are, right? You see how combative they are, how rude they are. This is a trait of the liberal left. The liberal left loves using women in the front. One thing I do know about most women, and women know this about themselves, you're very good at complaining and being bitchy. Absolutely, you're very good at it, let me tell you. And when you guys gather together, right, and you sound like a gaggle of geese, right, high-pitched voice, you know, screeching and yelling and stuff like that, let me tell you something. You will back down Goliath. Yeah. That's the superpower of a lot of women. Don't believe me? Ask your mama. Ask your grandmama. Right? Ask your granddaddy. Right? He's the one who was saying, hey, happy wife, happy life, right? You know why he's saying that? Because he know that once his wife's mouth open and it start complaining and bitching, he ain't going to get no rest. Ain't going to be a happy life for him. Right? Yeah. So the older guys took the beta way out. Instead of them to be, real men be strong, they took the beta way out. Yeah. Yeah, watch me get a lot of hate mail for that. Don't you worry. I'm ready. But when it all comes down to it, that's what they use. They use these type of women and these organizations because they know it works, Anthony Allen. They know that these women can get the job done. They know that these women push their agenda forward because most of the society looks at women as being victims, right? Women are perpetual victims. You're a victim when you're walking to work, right? Yeah, I bet some of y'all say, you know what? I get paid 50 cents less than a man, right? You're a victim there. When you get home to your husband, right? I'm a victim of the patriarchy, right? You're a victim of just getting married and living a gosh darn life, right? I'm telling you, perpetual victims, just like black folks. Last words here, sir.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. This idea that women and black folks are these perpetual victims that always get used by liberals, okay? These liberals, they use women to make them feel like, oh my gosh, everything a man says, everything a husband says, it's masculine, it's toxic masculinity. Oh, that's what it is. For blacks, everything a white person says is racism, okay? It goes on and on. When will, black men, black people, when will women say enough is enough and stop it, okay? But they don't because it pays. It pays Benjamin Crump. It pays, Jesse Jackson. It pays to be a pawn of the liberals.
It does.
And that's what they're going for, continuing being pawns so that they can get paid.
It pays to be a pawn in the liberal game. It really does. If you can run around and make yourself a victim, let me tell you, they will use you and they will use you well. So make sure you bring Vaseline. All right, make sure you do. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you do share. You see, I told you we'd be having fun. I told you. See, I told you. Next one. Oh, we're going to have a very good debate on this one. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. We're going to speak about student loans. Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to speak about the student loans. We got the boomer generation, the older generation. They're saying that the young folks got to pay. They're saying, hey, I know you're living with your parents, right? I know the economy is screwed up. But gosh darn it, get your ass out there, take a second barista job, right? Take a third barista job and pay for it, right? That's what they're saying. And the younger folks are telling the older folks that, hey, I'm not able to move on with life. I'm not able to do a gosh darn thing. And then the younger folks are bringing out all the other bailouts that the older folks haven't been running their mouth about. Right? You got to remember the auto bailouts, right? Hopefully you were running your mouth about the auto bailouts. You were the first one running your mouth, right? How about the housing bailouts, right? Yeah, absolutely, right? The mortgage companies, they were getting bailed out. Absolutely. I can go on and on, right? And they were done under the liberals. And there was a whole bunch of people on the right that were saying something and a whole bunch of other folks on the right that were quiet. I want to go ahead and run this when it come back. I want to speak about it. Where do you lie on this battle? Well, it's not even a battle anymore. Gosh darn it, it's set in stone. But where do you lie? Are you one of these people like myself that got $10,000 off your off your gosh darn bill, but still got to pay? And then you got people telling you that you're a bad man? Or are you on the other? Let me go ahead and run this one and come back. I want to speak about it. I want to know what you think. Gosh darn it. I want to know. Here we go. Here we go.
Like it, hate it, President Biden's move to forgive student loans is getting a lot of interest across the country. Here's just a few of those voices.
I was in my office and I was on Twitter. I saw it. I was showing my coworkers like, hey, look at this. I'm like free of debt. I'm free of debt. I was yelling, jumping around.
It opens up a huge amount of different opportunities for me, considering that I don't have to worry about that $20K. You know?
You took out a student loan, you should pay your student loan, just like you take out a loan on an automobile or you take a mortgage on a home. Now you've got somebody who did take out a student loan who says, why should I have to pay for it if somebody else is willing to take up the slack?
My college choice was 100% based on like financials and how much it was going to cost, where I was going, and it's nice to know that somebody is looking to like lower that cost.
I know, man. These old folks are looking to lower my bill. I love y'all.
Signing something saying
because I know it's most of y'all money.
I'm responsible for this debt, and then complain after they pick a job that doesn't pay their debt. It's not just about me, but it's several people. It's millions of people that have worked hard to get what they have gotten and have paid their debt already for that.
We need to all help each other out. That's one of the beauties of a democracy, one of the beauties of the United States of America for the last 250
I know that
years.
parent like, woo, I ain't got to pay for my children anymore. Let me go ahead and stop it right
everyone,
here.
George Stephanopoulos
Bingo,
here.
bango. Man, oh, man. Let me tell you something. Everybody, pull out your swords. Pull out your swords and your shields. Right? We're gonna get real serious. We about to get down to business. We about to get down to business about this here. So, the student loan debacle, the student loan forgiveness is making a lot of people angry and mad. Right? Yeah, they angry and mad. The one thing I say about this student loan forgiveness, and I've said it last year, I said it 2 years ago when they were even asking President Trump to do something about the crisis. I said this is a perfect opportunity for conservatives and Republicans to take a hold of this crisis. One thing I do know about conservatives and Republicans, one thing I do know, I know it. I know them like black folks. Yeah, I know them like black folks. When it comes to social issues, they Johnny come late last. Yeah. And this student loan issue here is a social issue that I believe that conservatives and Republicans should have been on the forefront about. They should have been on the forefront about it. Now, I know you're out there, you're saying, Jermain, I didn't take out a student loan. I went to Christie's Drug Emporium and I worked there, for 20 years. I know, right? Some of y'all say, Jermain, I ain't take out a loan. I went to the brick factory. Yeah, I was a mason. I went to the brick factory. I was making bricks, Jermain. Bricks for 20 years. I'm not going, I should have to pay for your student loan, Jermain. Right? I know you're going to say that. I understand that. And let me tell you something. You do have a valid statement there. You do. You do have one. But what I want to tell you is that with that valid statement you have, that still doesn't diminish what's going on. The student loan crisis, ladies and gentlemen, is because of the universities, it's because of the lenders, and it's because of the liberals. The liberals have ran and told parents out there, every MF parent that's around. Hey, when your child gets out of high school, they need to go to college so that they can get a degree and have a job. They've tried to make it mandatory, and I want people to understand something here. Getting a college degree is not mandatory, but they've made it like that in the culture. They've also made a crappy culture dealing with what I call Mickey Mouse degrees. You know what a Mickey Mouse degree is, right? Having a degree in window wiping. Yeah. Where do you think you're going to get hired in window wiping? Or a degree in African American studies? Yeah. You see how dumb that is? But yet, ladies and gentlemen, the liberals have pushed that nonsense out there. And children have begged their parents. They have gone to these schools with that vision in mind that, hey, when I get out, there's going to be somebody who's going to offer me a job and I'm going to make buku money. And just like I had that type of nonsensical dream. And when I got out of college, you know what happened? I was lucky enough to get a job. Yeah, I was lucky enough to get a job. Smart Jermain, right? Not a lot of folks are smart, though. Not a lot of folks are even lucky at that. When they get out of college, you know what happens with their degree? They end up working as a barista. They end up working at Walmart. And a lot of these employers are to blame too, because a lot of them sit there and say, well, we require a degree. Do you understand? There's a lot of employers who require a degree to do nothing. I kid you not. Mr. Allen, what do you think about this here? What do you think about the student loan forgiveness here? Where do you lie on the issue?
Well, it's kind of like what Tina Colburn said. She said, I never have been bailed out.
There you go.
Most people have never been bailed out. We have to deal with our circumstances and figure out how to overcome the circumstances. What liberals do is that they define success as having all circumstances removed, no hardship, no difficulty, all that gets removed, and that's what success is. But in the real world, success is overcoming circumstances. It's taking that extra job, working longer hours in order to overcome the hardship of having a loan. The other thing that happened too was they did what's called the bait and switch. They told everyone to go out and get these degrees. And guess what? Then they shipped all the jobs overseas.
You ain't lying. Oh my gosh! I'm sorry. I had you blew my mind with that because you ain't lying. It's the biggest bait and switch. Sorry about that, sir. Go ahead.
But then getting back to your point about this whole thing too is, they gave people these these stupid degrees. For example, like Katie Walker says, these useless degrees in interpretive line dancing or Peruvian pansexuals. Okay, what is that? How can you get a job, with African American studies, women's studies? What kind of job is that?
Nonsense.
Okay? Liberals have dumbed down the Americans.
There you go. I was just about to say
everything overseas. So now the Americans, we don't get jobs in engineering, sciences, things that really have an application. They convince these young people to get these degrees in stupidity.
I'm telling you.
Shoe shining, how to tie your shoes in several different ways, a PhD in batting your eye.
LGBTQism.
Yeah. Stupid degrees. And this doesn't work at all because these liberals have dumbed down education. It's out of reach of people now. You know, if someone says they want to be an engineer, well, people frown upon that. Or you can't be an engineer. If someone said, I want to be a lawyer, oh, you can't be a lawyer. You're not supposed to be smart. You're supposed to be stupid. But as a consequence, all of the foreigners that come to our country, they have degrees in the hard science.
Yep, they do.
Computer science, engineering, chemistry, okay? While the American degrees are in, you know,
dumbness.
I don't know, basket weaving, okay?
Dumb stuff.
A PhD in basket weaving, a PhD in interpretive dancing of Peruvian pansexuals, whatever it is. But this is what they have done to our culture, and they're doing it on purpose. And one more thing too is the tuition increase is always skyrocketing.
It is.
If any other industry did this, there would be an investigation.
There you go.
You know, if the auto industry did this, if the pharmaceutical industry did this, there would be an investigation. But the academic community, within academia, the rate of tuition is like vertical. It goes straight up. It doesn't bend down. It doesn't go down. It always goes straight up because they are paying the liberal professors and teachers
the majority of the money
down our students. Yeah.
To dumb down our students. Anthony Allen, let me tell you something. What you said was fire! Fire! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It was absolutely fire. The dumbing down America comment, that's exactly what they're doing, sir. You're absolutely correct. They're dumbing down our children. Our children are getting dumb degrees, and when they get out of school, nobody want to hire them because they're dumb as rocks. They're talking about racism, LGBTQ, all the dumb woke stuff, and nobody want to hire them. That's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. And then they can't get good enough jobs to even pay their loan back. And guess who's paying their loan? Most of the time, it's their parents. Yeah. That's why I'm telling you, conservatives have missed the train on this one. We could have taken the reins on this one and reformatted. We could have gotten investigations rolling on the way, right? Why is the tuition always increasing by 200-300%? What's going on here, right? All they're doing is coming in and they're sitting down and they're listening to somebody flap their gums.
Yes.
Right? I ladies and gentlemen, we're not dumb, we're not idiots. And I want people to use common sense. The tuition that they're charging, every one of them need to be locked up. It don't take 20,000 to sit down and listen to an overweight teacher who's out of breath tell you about math. I want people to understand that. 20,000 to sit down in a chair to listen to an overweight teacher tell you about math, and then they're huffing and puffing while they're telling you this too. No, I mean we gotta get out of this. And then on top of that, Anthony Allen, they're not pushing trade schools.
Right.
Trade schools are more important in my eyes than the universities. The universities are for professional degrees, professional careers, right? When we're talking about counseling, we're talking about being a psychiatrist, right? We're talking about being let's say a law enforcement officer, things of this nature, professional careers, right? Being a dentist, right? Being a doctor. That's what a university is for. That's what universities should be focused on. They should be limited to those certain things. Everybody should be going to a trade school. You should be learning how to read, write. You should be learning how to, service computers, service the things that we need in our society. when we need things to be serviced, right? When I had to call a technician, right? Yeah, I had to call a technician. I had to see what was going on with a certain product that I ordered. I thought I was calling somewhere in the U.S. Guess who picked up? Apu and them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could hardly even understand their English on the phone. I kid you not. This should be done by a blue-haired white individual. A blue-haired white male or white female should be doing it instead of Apu and them. Right? Absolutely. Last words here, sir.
Yes, sir. This is the dumbing down of America. It's taking place in our universities. These professors get paid astronomical money to be a professor, and they dumb down the students. And just like you said, Jermain Botsio, the very idea that Americans cannot handle technology anymore. It gets outsourced out to foreign countries, and these foreign students, they come to America and they pay cash for their education. Yep. They earn the PhDs, and they are not getting degrees in these stupid studies that don't, make a job. But you made a very, very good point, Jermain Botsio. Conservatives had missed the point, because if they wanted to help out in the student loan debacle, if they hire someone, a company could say, well, your hiring bonus is we can help you pay off your student loan, okay?
Yep.
They give hiring bonuses for everything else, okay? 5,000 here, 10,000 here. Why not say, hey, a new graduate, if you work for company A, we will help you pay off your loan. We will help you do that, okay? But they don't do that, and conservatives have missed the boat on this. There are ways that the private sector can help, not the government, but it always has to be focused on the loan is the student's responsibility to pay it off. Now, if someone wants to help out in that area, besides the government, besides getting a forgiveness, then that should be a private sector function, not a government function.
Absolutely. And then, I do agree with you. I do agree with you on that aspect as well. I do. And one thing I've been saying, and I'll reiterate what I said in the beginning of the segment, is that I believe that conservatives lost, this battle here. This battle was right in the making for us. We could have really turned this around. We could have, made a narrative towards trade school. We could have gotten rid of this student loan debacle nonsense, or this narrative where everybody needs to go to a 4-year school, right? Yes. And then let's be honest, not everybody is smart, right? I was telling my son, I said, a lot of people are dumb as rocks. I told my son, most people you'll come in contact with, they look like they're smart, right? Yeah, they pick up a fork just like you, but they're dumb as rocks. Absolutely. And a lot of these folks don't go to school. And if they do go to school, they end up losing money too. And let's be honest, Anthony Allen, a lot of people who've gone to college, they've dropped out of college. The majority of folks that have gone there, they've dropped out, and they have some sort of debt hanging behind them as well. So there's an issue here that hasn't been spoken about, and it hasn't been spoken about because the liberal colleges are ran by women, education is ran by females. To speak about something like this means to take away money. That's why liberals don't like us to come into anything, because we start seeing waste. We're saying, hey, why are we paying for this? Right?
That's right.
Remember what I said? It don't cost $20,000 to sit in a seat in a building to listen to an overweight teacher tell you about math. You got to be retarded to pay that. But guess what? People are paying it. So we need to be honest about the cost of things, right? And we have to be honest about schooling in general. Not everybody's smart. Let's stop playing. Most folks need to go to, ladies and gentlemen, trade school. Yeah. I would say 95% of folks need to go to trade school. Do you understand? Yeah, you can get mad at me all you want. 95% of folks out there, and when you start looking at the population, you look at the jobs that people have, the careers that people have, it'll all boil down to 5% or less. Yeah. Most folks are in the service industry. Do you understand? Yeah, they're not in some technical field. They're in a service industry. So it needs to be addressed. It does. Most people there needs to be, if anything, there needs to be free education when it comes down to trade school. I'd be for that. University, absolutely not. I don't want to pay for a kid to sit up and to be screwing somebody's daughter in a dorm room, and then you got to pay for them to screw up in their studies as well. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Sorry. Last words here, sir.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Everyone's not ready for a 4-year institution. Everyone's not smart enough to be there. And not only that, they are not mature enough to be there either.
Absolutely.
Right after high school, a lot of children need to be at home with their mother and their father, okay?
They do.
They don't need to be going across the country
cutting the lawn.
to some, school where they can just do what they want to do. They need to be at home and still maintain some kind of home training and some kind of, discipline. But you take a kid that's, biting to get out of the house and to go away, they always usually screw up big time, okay? So I'm in favor of people that should go, that want to go for a education that's relevant, but not for some stupid African American studies, Caucasian studies, or
some dumb stuff
studies. This is ludicrous, okay? 'Cause those don't point to, or those will not get you a job, okay? Also, I want to point out was during the clip that you showed, the first young man that they interviewed, he was in college, but guess what? I had no idea what he was talking about.
Yep, another dummy.
Okay, he was so confusing. If we didn't know what the subject was, we would have no idea what this young boy was talking about. He is obviously someone that needs to be at home with his parents.
Absolutely. And that's something that conservatives and Republicans need to start being honest about. Not everybody needs to go to school. You need to be honest. There's a lot of people who are dumb as rocks. They don't need to be in school. They need to be at home. At home. 95% of folks don't need to go to college. Sorry, they don't. Most people, let me tell you, don't even have a college degree. I hope people understand that. Most people don't go to college. Most people don't have a college degree. They don't. So to sit here and act as if college is mandatory is another scam.
Yes.
It's a scamola. And when you speak to a lot of people out there, they even lie about their own background. You go in and say, yeah, you're looking for, I have a PhD in bullshitism. Let me work y'all. That's the way they do it. Excuse my French too. My goodness gracious. See how bad I am? See? I told you. But that's what it comes down to. So I just wanted to point that out there. And another thing somebody pointed out, women carry the most college debt. When it comes to even college, what is it called? The attendance. Women attend college more than guys now. And they carry the most debt. And I could tell you why. When a guy thinks about college now, right? Back in the day, guys used to think about college. Yeah, I'm about to get out of my parents' home. Man, I'm about to go and screw a whole bunch of women and all sorts of stuff. That's the way young guys think. Yeah, you see how honest I am, right? Yeah, that's the way young guys think. You see the way I'm smiling? Shoot, I used to think like that too. How bad I am. Yeah, I'm about to leave my parents' home. Yeah, I'm out of their sight. I'm about to go to college and screw as many women as I can. I'm about to go and have fun. Yeah. And you know what the guys are saying now? There's too many bitchy women now. They're doing the woke stuff. Yeah, and then they telling me I'm a bad guy. Why don't I want to be there? Yeah, let me go ahead and go to this trade school and be a mechanic. Yeah, usually when I work as a mechanic, there ain't no women around. That's the way the guys are doing it. Yeah, think I'm playing. Most of the guys that are in college now are effeminate males. Yes, males with high-pitched voices, right? The ones that wear loafers. Yeah, they wear penny loafers, tight-ass pants. Absolutely. Lips real shiny. You look at their lips, gosh darn it. You might fall off a cliff. I ain't playing. My goodness gracious. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Moving forward, we got 2 more clips left. I want to speak to you about a leaked Patriot front video. Shows members training for a war is what they're saying. I want to go ahead and run this when it come back. I want to speak about this. Do you guys believe that this is a legitimate video? And what is the purpose of this video coming out? Is this leaked by the FBI? Is it leaked by the NSA? What do you think? I want you guys to take a look at this. When it comes back, we shall discuss it. Here we go.
Rear guard, stagger! Hey, hey, don't let him in. You're staggering, guys. Cycle back. What are we doing? Cycle back, right. All right, should we try that again from the top? Hey, mark time. Mark. Step. Hey. Step. Hey. Rear back. Stagger. All right, call it. Stagger right. Stagger right. Right. You guys in my town? Good. Yeah? Block him. Out. Cycle back. Help each other out.
Man, it's getting serious, y'all.
Shoots. Call it again. Yeah, you bet. Don't let him pass. Cycle back. That's perfect. Take it out. Hey. All right, that's good. Cycle back. No, we're good. We're good.
Bow. Man, oh man, it's getting serious here in this country now. So you guys got done seeing this leaked video, Patriot front. It seems as if they're doing some sort of training in this video here now. I don't know who leaked the video. I don't know if it was somebody in the organization. I don't know if this video is leaked by the NSA, DEA, FBI. But the video seems to be real. Mr. Allen, what do you think about this video here? Is this something for people to be concerned about? And as patriots, should we be concerned about videos like this and the narrative that can come from it? What do you think?
Yeah, this is very, very dangerous because the deep state, They are begging for a clash. Okay, the deep state wants a clash between right-wing white militias and left-wing black militias. This is what they want. They always want to find a clash. Okay, now the left has been attempting a war for a long, long time. They call it a race war, but it really is a color war because the war that they want to foment is not about race. It's about color. Okay, they want a color race. They want a color war. They want a war between white groups and non-white groups, white groups and black groups, and white groups and people of color, and white groups and brown people. They don't care what race these people are, as long as they have a color that's different than white. And so they are trying to foment constantly a color war. Now, the clashes that they want to pull off, they want to have a climax. You know when they want to have a climax around Trump's election.
Oh, yeah, you know it.
Part of the narrative that they have been pushing. They have tried to impeach him. They have raided his home. They have lied about this man. They are going after conservatives. And what do they have left now is that they have to foment something that will just bring him down. And of course, there has to be a color war. Sometime during his election, during the campaign, they will foment a clash. If possible, it would be a clash between a white group and a group of color, a white group and a brown group. You know what I mean by that. And this is the groundwork to lay for that color war around 2024 to make sure that Donald Trump does not get elected.
Absolutely. And I was thinking that this would be laying down the narrative and the groundwork for the liberals to start making more laws against us.
Yes.
And making sure that they do things that are unconstitutional. You see the stuff that they're doing to President Trump. Trust and believe they can use a narrative like this. Hey, it seems like the Patriot groups are getting ready to go to war, right? And they start running with that narrative in the media. They start leaking videos like this, right? They start playing it all over the media. And you see these people dressed up in USA color garb, right? They look like they're some sort of old Templar Knights. They look like the 2020 version of the Templar Knights.
There you go.
You get what I'm saying? Think I'm playing, right? They're working on foot marching, right? They're working on ground warfare. And have this type of video being played on CNN and the rest of these cockamamie news outlets. Let me tell you something. It will get the regular person out there who isn't even political scared. I want people to understand. It will get them scared and against what the truth is. And all they need is several videos like this to come out and to run that narrative. And then they start blaming patriots and President Trump. Right? Look at the leaked video comes from a group called Frontline Patriot Frontline and Frontline Patriots or something like this. Right? Patriots is in there. The word patriot. Do you understand?
Yep.
And they will link this to us. So this type of video coming out, in my personal opinion, I believe this is a Fed video. I believe the feds put this video out because they want to foment a war. They want to start something so that they can bring the type of order they want. And as a Luciferian principle, the Luciferians have a lot of principles. One of the principles that even the military uses is called order out of chaos. Do you understand? And trust and believe, you get order out of chaos. And I know it personally. You get order out of chaos. Last words here, sir.
You're exactly right, Jermain Botsio. They want order out of chaos. They want to redo America, and they want to have some sort of fight. They have to prevent Donald Trump from being elected. The best way to do it is to have some sort of, action, some sort of clash where they can, control the government and say, we can't have an election because now whites are fighting blacks and blacks are fighting whites now. And that's all this is. It is a way to set the narrative in place against the patriots, against sane Americans, against normal people. And so you can imagine if they put things out like this, that the black groups, the crazy black groups on the other side, they're going to be arming up too. And there will be a clash. You put those two groups in proximity of one another, and there's going to be a clash, okay? And that's what they want to do. And we have to be very, very smart because we know what the game plan is. To have a clash between white and black, white and brown, white and people of color, sometimes around 2024. It will be well done and well orchestrated also.
Absolutely. And then to have these type of leaked videos, you know what the white liberals will start saying? See, these are the racist white folks we've been speaking to you guys about. Right? And please trust and believe there'll be black buffoons and idiots to believe it. I'm letting you know. They'll look at videos like this and then they'll say, those evil right-wingers. Those racist white ringers. Look at them. They're coming after us. They arming up at everything. And they don't like black people too. They don't like people of color. They'll be running that game and they'll be having folks believe in it. So we have to be honest about it. We have to make sure that people know that these things are going on. We have to. And in my personal opinion, once more again, I believe the FBI is behind this. I really do. I really do. I believe the feds are behind it. The feds right now are on the Luciferians' time. They love Lucifer. Absolutely. They love Lucifer and the rest of them demons. They love them. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Last but not least, we're going to speak to you guys about Mark Zuckerberg. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast looking dumb and ridiculous. He admits that Facebook censored the Hunter Biden laptop story at the request of the same folks, the feds, the FBI, right? I told you. The FBI is a rogue, it's like a rogue group in this country, Anthony Allen. And guess what? The FBI, those folks don't have no accountability. There's no accountability at the FBI. Let's go ahead and run it. Here we go. Make sure you share.
How do you guys handle things when they're a big news item that's controversial? During the election because of the Hunter Biden laptop story, the New York Post.
Yeah, we have that too.
Yeah, so you guys censored that as well?
Is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like, you should be on high alert. There was we thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in that, so just be vigilant. So our protocol is different from Twitter's. What Twitter did is they said you can't share this at all. We didn't do that. What we do is we have, if something is reported to us as potentially misinformation, important misinformation, we also have this third-party fact-checking program because we don't want to be deciding what's true and false. And the distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. Basically, the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less. So fewer people saw it than would have otherwise.
By what percentage?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's meaningful.
So this comes as a surprise to absolutely no one, except for the fact that they're just
Wow,
openly
and I'm
admitting
going
it
to
now.
stop it right
this
there.
This is O.J. Simpson levels of...
I'm going to stop it right here. So Anthony Allen, we come down to the conclusion here, and it's a very, very easy conclusion. That a lot of stuff that we don't see, a lot of stuff that is not reported, is basically not reported because the people that are in charge, the FBI, the DEA, the DOJ, Biden administration, and them, they're the ones who are asking these social media companies to censor information. That should be the biggest story of the year. What do you think about this here, sir?
Yeah, this is, Marxism. Okay, this is the nexus between the federal government and business. Okay, because now you have the government and big tech. They are in cahoots with the people. The government and big techs are now trying to control the people. And this is what Marxism is. Mark Zuckerberg, he is totally responsible for stealing the 2020 election.
He is.
He actually bought the 2020 election with about $400,000 grant. And that was more money than the federal government gave the election committees. So suppressing, the other point is that what Mark Zuckerberg did by suppressing the laptop from hell, that was not the reason that Trump lost, okay? If that laptop from hell had not been suppressed, Trump still would have lost.
He would have.
They would have fixed it that no matter what happens, Trump was going to lose that because they would have stole it from him, okay? And this is what they're doing. So it's like a little minor issue that he suppressed the laptop from hell that was the reason for Trump losing the election. Suppressing and censoring is a problem, not the fact that he suppressed it, because Trump would have lost that no matter what. They were determined to make him lose that. Now, everyone is applauding, Mark Zuckerberg because he came clean. I'm not applauding Mark Zuckerberg.
He should be in jail. Gosh darn it.
Because he's not going to be held accountable for what he did. Okay, Mark Zuckerberg knows 100% that he will never go to jail for what he did. What he did was a crime. It's called voter suppression, and that's what he did, but he will never go to jail for that one day whatsoever. So I am not impressed that Zuckerberg came clean, and I don't like the narrative that if people would have known about the laptop from hell, that maybe Trump would have won. Nope. They would have made sure that no matter what happened, no matter what came out about Hunter, about Joe Biden, about anything, they were going to make sure that Trump had the election stolen from him.
Absolutely. Gosh darn it. Nobody's going to be held accountable. He's not going to be held accountable for it. And the liberals will just praise him because he did what was right to save democracy. That's the way they behave. It blows my mind. But this is the world we're living in. It is. And you see, elections have consequences. Being a pussy has consequences too. You can see that right now, right? Ain't that right, conservatives? Right? Ain't that right, patriots? Being a pussy costs you more than anything, right? Being a weak pussy. Absolutely. Not doing what is needed, not doing what is right will cost you. Being a pussy usually costs people. Don't believe me? Go ask the pussies in the world. They'll tell you. Yeah, I pussied out and I messed up my life. Yeah. We need people to be strong. Stand up for what is right. And if we have more folks like that, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, fighting for children, right? Whole GOP should be behind her. They're not. We need people like her. who don't care about the old, but care about what is right. Anthony Allen, Buddy Pal, I want to thank you so much for coming on in here. It is the end of the show. 2 hours of flames and fury. Any last words for our beautiful crowd here, sir?
Yeah, this beautiful crowd. I love them deeply, and Conservative Nation, you are my family. I appreciate everything, and we have to always stick together. They want to come for our country. We cannot let them take our country. We must prepare ourselves to fight the best fight we can, okay? And that just means if you can talk to people, you need to make that fight. If you can convince people, you need to fight that way. If you're on social media, your family and friends, you need to be an influencer such that you can fight the fight, because we have to maintain our culture. This culture is the American culture. This race is the American race. Don't let anyone fool you that because, long time ago, your folks immigrated from Italy somewhere, that you are an Italian American. If you're black, don't be fooled that you're African American. You are an American. Your race is American. When I have an application to fill out and they ask me what race, guess what I put? American. I don't put African American, and they had never said you can't put that down there. I have always put American. Ask me what race I am on an application, I don't hesitate. I put down American. And this is what we have to do as conservatives. We have to turn upside down the liberal narrative that always wants to divide us from being who we are, and that's American.
Absolutely. The liberals want to make sure that you don't have love for America.
Yes.
They want you to get rid of it. They want you to be angry about America. They want you to hate America like them so that they can change America. Don't allow that to happen. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on in here, hanging out with us. I also would like to thank everybody who hit that like button, everybody who shared, everybody who donated. We love you, all right? We certainly do. We certainly do. I want to also give a shout out to Tina B. Shout out to you. Donated. She sent in her donation through the mail. So I just want to let her know that we got her donation. So that's what it is. You guys take care. Have a very beautiful week. And I'll catch you guys here later for another edition of Conservative Nation. You guys take care. Love ya. And good night. Bye-bye.